Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
What makes a story great? I'm not talking acceptable. I'm not talking alright. I'm not talking adequate. I'm talking great. And as I say this, in your mind hole, a story popped into it, whether be it movie, book, TV, or play. There's something about a fantastical story that anchors itself to our essence, that etches itself upon our heart and soul, and remains with us for as long as we live. And every time we are taken back to that story, it's looked upon as an old friend or dear loved one. It's cherished. Why are stories great? Why do they captivate us in such a manner? Well, let me explain.
Dude, what does mine say? Sweet!
Let's fucking go.
The first thing I need to address is the utter building blocks of a story so we can understand the uniqueness from story to story. And that, my dear viewer, is a three-headed spork. First, the plot. There's literally a finite number of plots, right? Overcoming the monster, rags to riches, quest, voyage, and return, comedy, tragedy, rebirth. Every movie, book, TV show, and ramblings of that drunk hobo who lives on the corner will fall into one of these categories, whether you like it or not. I personally hate that shit. It kind of bugs me to the core of my being that there's only a certain amount of stories that we can tell, but I digress for now.
No ending! No ending! No ending! No ending! No ending!
We've all seen these plots over and over again. Some are done in such a way they blur the lines with the others, but search deep enough into any story and you'll find the same plot bubbling to the surface again and again. The second thing, the setting, right? Each and every world will have similar structures whether you'd like to admit it or not. There are different and unique ways to go about them, but the base elements are the same. The S's, dude, the S's. Sustenance, shelter, society, social, and spiritual. Alliteration makes me grow a big rubbery one. Your setting is unique by how you define these or don't define them. The lack of one or the other, or the importance of one over the other, will be the crux that makes your setting unique. But all in all, the base elements are the same. The third thing, the theme. There's literally a finite number of emotions you can draw on, and all emotions can be boiled down to three main categories. That's technically 6. Positive, neutral, or negative, right? Then we can divvy them up even further. Happy.
This is Apollo 13 signing off.
Right? Content, cheerful, proud, confident, silly, energetic. Peaceful. Calm, loving, affectionate, trusting, caring, inspired. Fear.
Can Spider-Man come out to play? Where is she?
Anxious, embarrassed, panicked, terrified, worried. Surprise. Confused, shocked, overwhelmed. Sad. Bored, tired, lonely, guilty, disappointed, hurt, anger,
Just dumb kid, don't kill him. Bye.
annoyed, frustrated, jealous, mad, and disgusted. Most, if not all of these emotions are derived from one of these base emotions. There is no new and original emotion that you can invoke in your theme. It will come down to one or multiple of these. So then, what is the real meat and potatoes of any story, right? Why, if there is a finite number of plot, setting, and theme, do we still rant and rave with every new blockbuster released? Why do we still invest so much into stories when it's all quintessentially the same type of pie? Lots of food analogies in this one. It's simple, and at the same time, it's not. The answer is, it's characters. And characters alone. I didn't read Ice and Fire because of dragons, magic, gore, and zombies. No. I done did read it because of what Daenerys endured at the hands of her cruel brother. Because she was this innocent, pure girl who was placed amongst the barbarians and schemers, in all essence a pawn subject to the whims of others, and my heart felt for her. I read because Eddard was an honorable man walking through the valley of death, bound by friendship, family, and duty. An honorable man in an unhonorable world. Riveting shit there, Martin. I read because Jaime meant to kill a child to keep his love a secret, yet possessed the work ethic to become the best sword in the land. I read because Arya was destined to become a lady of some lord's castle, but wanted absolutely nothing to do with it, her brash and brazen personality chafing upon societal and familial norms. I read to see the atrocities Cersei would commit in the name of protecting her children, herself, or her power. And if she could maintain the ruse of kindness and grace, even in utter failure. The setting, plot, and themes only become important because of the characters they involve, which is the single and only reason the TV show is revered as one of the biggest disappointments that has ever graced the screen, because they absolutely betrayed the characters in every single way. Fuck Game of Thrones. Fuck DB Wussface and David Bitchoff. Fuck Martin for making us wait for Winds of Winter. Seriously, dude? Seriously, dude? Seriously, dude? You're gonna give us one of the greatest fantasy stories of all time and then not even finish it? Like, bitch. Fuck, fuck, fuck.
I don't want to talk about this again.
And the characters are the true meat and potatoes of any story. And there's 5 pillars that are involved in almost every single character. Intro and attachment. What happens when we first meet our character? What are their actions or words? How do they carry themselves? Who do they associate with and why? The depth and definition.
Preparing to... You have failed me for the last time, Admiral.
To what degree is the character defined? Do they simply avoid fear, placing themselves as far from it as possible, forgetting it in the monotony of the day-to-day, like a man who fears the ocean so he simply doesn't live anywhere near the coast? Or is his fear plaguing him like a germaphobe, weary of everything he touches throughout the whole of the day? Consistency.
You may dispense with the pleasantries, Commander. I'm here to put you back on schedule.
Technological terror you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant. Too close to the system.
He felt surprised, was wiser.
He is as clumsy as he is stupid.
What happens in the broad spectrum of events during the story? Does our intellectual character always behave as such, whether atop a mountain or in the darkest cave? And if they break from that intellect, is it explained? Or is it glossed over as if they simply forgot that they were smart? Development and progression. Who does our character become during the story? Does the coward find courage? Does the cankerous old man become caring? Does the imbecile become an intellectual? And is the character arc in the least a plausible one? Resistance / stalwart. With a flat arc, has the character shown the correct fortitude to remain the way they are, to buck tradition and forge ahead despite the pressure from the world around? This is the core to any story. Characters. And the betrayal of these 5 pillars is an automatic fail in storytelling no matter the medium. We see this time and time again throughout mainstream media. The reason we don't care about Marvel anymore, after Endgame essentially, is because they didn't give us the characters to rally behind. I mean, think about the first phase, or Thor, we had Iron Man, we had Captain America, and it was all just character driven. We had 3 movies that built up these individuals. The reason we don't care about Star Wars is because they abandoned the characters we all care about for ones we completely didn't. The reason we don't care about all the rebooted classics is because they forgot the core element as to why we cared in the first place. The cool thing about Indiana Jones wasn't Harrison Ford or the adventure, it was who Indy was. When you take that away, it's no longer a movie about Indiana Jones. It's a movie about some old guy who none of us recognize nor care about. The essence of any movie is the characters it portrays. Do this in a weak or convoluted manner and your story is simply that weak and convoluted. It has nothing to do with where they are, who stands against them, or why, because when it comes to the character themselves, we just don't care. It absolutely blows my mind hole that all the millions of dollars poured into movies or TV, that this basic essence of story is swept under the rug as if unimportant. as if all that matters is the visually stunning or a brilliant score or political message. With all the time, wealth, and sacrifice pummeled into each mainstream media event, how is it that the characters are the first to be lynched? I'll admit, I want my movies to look and sound good. I don't want to watch something that is visually, unesthetically pleasing. But it's all for naught if I don't care. It's all smoke and mirrors if there isn't something tangible to grip hold of emotionally, to invest my heart and soul into. Why, when spending $100 million plus on a movie, can't writers find the common ground between political and the poetic, the visual and the visceral, the ideal and the indispensable? What a catastrophe that the top echelon of storytellers has become so hollow, so inept, so cowardly, and worse yet, boring. Is it truly just money? Is it truly some woke mind virus that's ensnared Hollywood in its entirety to such a degree that the only right and just story to be told is a repeated or broken one? Is nostalgia such an addictive thing that the mindless throngs can't resist its allure? And if so, are we doomed to simply rewatch the same thing over and over again till all the original actors are dead and the nostalgia for the original is long forgotten? Well then, I guess here's to an expedited demise, right?
You buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
Achoo!